Like, I don't know, I have to check the statistics. I think she won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes from, like, if you look from the outside, kind of like from an easy balls.
Aryna Sabalenka's clash with Coco Gauff in the 2025 French Open final was more than just a battle for the title. It was a storm of emotion, intensity, and controversy. From on-court outbursts to icy post-match vibes, Sabalenka's behavior stirred debate and kept fans and critics talking long after the final point. So, let's get into it.
Yeah, I played definitely better level than in the final. It was really, honestly, the worst tennis I played in the last, I don't know how many months. And the conditions were terrible, and she simply was better in these conditions than me. And I think it was the worst final I ever played.
One of the most striking and controversial elements is Aryna's extremely harsh self-assessment. She openly describes the final as the worst tennis I played in the last months, especially in a Grand Slam final. This is a moment of raw honesty that reflects both frustration and vulnerability, but also raises questions about professional athletes' mental health and self-pressure.
Commiserations. I just wondered why you think you weren't able to manage the conditions and she was able to do that a bit better.
Sometimes that happens, you know. You just wake up and you don't feel your best and another player go for whatever and it works.
Aryna repeatedly mentions the difficult playing conditions, particularly the wind, and how they negatively impacted her game.
For you, nothing is working, and yeah, I was struggling a lot, and I was trying my best to figure the way how to play in these conditions, but I guess today wasn't the day.
She contrasts this with her opponent's ability to adapt better, implying that the external environment played a significant role in the outcome. However, Aryna's comments brought some controversy. Some fans think this could be perceived as deflecting blame onto the conditions, which might be seen by some as an excuse. However, the journalist had this question.
How much do you think this was just completely about you and how you were playing, and or was she making you do things that made you play worse than you would have wanted to play? And you know, how does she do that and make things difficult for you?
It was a great question from the journalist, highlighting whether it was just the bad condition or Coco's brilliance that affected her. However, Sabalenka quickly answered with this statement.
By running and playing those high balls from the frame, and she was moving really well. In these tough conditions, I couldn't really mix it up, and it was tricky. It was tricky in these conditions to do stuff that I was doing, for example, in Madrid, that I don't have to do against her to get the win. And
this raised a classic sports debate. To what extent does an athlete's loss stem from personal shortcomings versus uncontrollable external factors? Sabalenka further gave added opinions on how she personally saw the match.
And today was just, honestly, sometimes it felt like she was hitting the ball from the frame. Somehow, magically, the ball lands in the court, and you kind of like on the back foot, and yeah, it's just, you know, like it felt like a joke.
Aryna felt her opponent had magically handled these challenges better, meaning in her view, it wasn't a matter of skills that won the match. This acknowledgement of the opponent's skill is balanced but also serves to underline her own difficulties. Many of the tennis fans and critics thought that Sabalenka should have given Coco the congratulations she deserved. Aryna admits that she was over-emotional and didn't manage her mental state well during the match.
You started the match really well. You led 4-1. What happened at 4-1? Do you think that Coco got better or the conditions got tougher?
Yeah, I think it was more windy and got more windy, and also I think I was over emotional, and I think today I didn't really handle myself quite well.
However, for some fans it was different. Some fans criticized Aryna as they claimed it was an excuse for poor performance. Others would add that after the match with Coco, she showed her true nature. Going back in the press, she openly discusses the mental challenges of high-stakes competition and how they contribute to technical failures.
Mentally, I would say. So basically that's it. I was just making unforced errors. Like, I don't know, I have to check the statistics. I think she won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes from, like if you look from the outside, kind of like from an easy balls.
This statement brought a huge controversy. From the statement above, she claimed that Coco won the match because of her mistake, and not Coco's brilliance. This brought her a lot of backlash, a comment she has since regretted making. However, it didn't end there. Sabalenka also suggested that had Iga Swiatek reached the final instead of her, Swiatek would have defeated Gauff.
A lot of tough opponents, Olympic champion Iga, you know, and then you go out and you play really bad. Like, I don't know, I think if Iga would win me another day, I think she would go out today and she would get the win. It just, you know, like, yeah, it just hurts.
Fans and media quickly criticized Sabalenka's tone. Many felt that her remarks were ungracious and belittling of Gauff's achievement. However, Coco responded to Sabalenka's comments. In the post-conference, the journalist brought this up.
When Aryna sat here, she said that she thinks if Iga had won her, she wins the thing today because of how the match turned up. Do you think the way you play today, you beat anyone? It doesn't matter who's on the other side of the net?
She said if I play Iga in the final.
She said that if we go, she didn't mention exactly winning you, but she said if Iga won me, she would win the thing.
Gauff firmly disagreed, pointing out that she had recently defeated Swiatek in straight sets, making Sabalenka's claim unfair.
I mean, I don't agree with that. I'm here sitting here, and last time I played, no, like to Iga or anything, but I played her and I won in straight sets. So, yeah, I don't think that's a fair thing to say because anything can really happen.
Despite the controversy, Gauff emphasized she wasn't going to escalate the matter. She highlighted how the windy, open roof conditions made the match difficult. She added that Iga and Aryna are both class and would have loved to play with either of them, valuing the level of competition from both players.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, the way Aryna was playing the last few weeks, she was the favorite to win. So I think she was the best person that I could have played in the final. Her being #1 in the world, she was the best person to play. So I think I got the hardest matchup just if you go off stats alone. Obviously, Iga being a champion here, it was going to be a tough match either way. But yeah, I think regardless of who I played, I think I had a good shot to win.
In Good Morning America, Gauff also shared that she was surprised by Sabalenka's remarks, but responded with maturity.
Her comments right after the match, pretty much saying it was because she played poorly instead of praising your play, because you're both playing in windy conditions, you're both facing that. And you've played her several times, and she did walk it back a bit the next day and did give you credit and said you played with a lot of purpose and poise. You've played her several times. Just what was your take on the comments that she made?
In the interview, she told Good Morning America that she would give her the benefit of the doubt, understanding the emotional weight of the moment.
I mean, obviously, I know she was probably a bit emotional after that match, and it was a tough loss. But honestly, when I stepped on the court, I was aware of the win. We both practiced with the roof closed, so I honestly wanted the roof to be closed before the match because my quarterfinal in semi was closed, and I thought I was playing good tennis. But when I found out it was open, I saw how windy it was on the court. I knew that it was going to be an ugly win.
Gauff acknowledged that the weather was windy, which actually made the match difficult. She mentioned entering the final prepared for a tough contest, saying she expected an ugly win and fought through as best she could.
Whenever you play in windy conditions, if you play tennis, you know it's not going to be a perfect day on a windy court. So I knew that going in, and yeah, I mean, after that, I was a little bit surprised, but about the comments and everything. But like, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure it was just an emotional day, emotional match.
After much criticism, Sabalenka wrote an apology to Gauff. Sabalenka publicly labeled her earlier press remarks as completely unprofessional, admitting she was overly emotional and not at her best mentally. Sabalenka also congratulated Gauff, complimenting her as she stepped up and deserved the win. Ahead of Wimbledon, the two players were seen reconciling as they made a video dancing.
That works.
Coco's graceful response turned controversy into a masterclass in sportsmanship. In a storm of emotion, she stayed calm, kind, and classy, proving that true champions shine brightest, not just in victory, but in how they handle adversity. What was your view of Sabalenka's behavior? Leave your comments down below.